Boo. We ain't doing it in 2020. No, no, ma'am. What's up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Kay, and thank you so much for joining me today. If you are new to my channel, what's up? Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button down below, and also you guys make sure you turn on your notification bell so that you can be notified every time I upload a video. So today we're going to be doing my first episode of what I like to call gym talk, okay? So gym talk is just basically girl talk or whatever. So we're just going to cover all topics. I'm going to be doing a little small series, and this is going to be episode 1. And yeah, so I'm super excited. This is something new to my channel. If you're interested in this video, make sure you guys keep on. All right, you guys, so let's jump right in. So on today's episode, we're going to be talking about overcoming negative thoughts, okay? Now, let's just jump right in. I'm super excited to be talking about this because what made me want to talk about this is I did a poll on my Instagram a few weeks ago, and I asked people, do they struggle with self-sabotaging thoughts, and do they feel like it holds them back from, being great or doing things that they feel like they want to do? And a lot of people commented and was like, yes, they do struggle with self-sabotaging thoughts. So that's the reason why I wanted to make this video. So the first thing I'm going to start with is to think about what you're thinking about, okay? If you really just sit and think about what you're thinking about, like when you're having a negative thought, you have to ask yourself, like, where did this negative thought come from? Is it even valid? Is it even true? Because a lot of the times the enemy will try to lie to you and trick you out your spot. And you have to ask yourself, where did this thought come from? Of course, sometimes it comes from things we've heard other people say about us, childhood things that we may have heard our parents or, family members say about us, and it's just still rotating and playing in your head. So you have to think about what you're thinking about, and why are you having a negative thought? When do you, keep track of when you have negative thoughts? Because most of the time when you have negative thoughts, you have them at certain patterns or certain points of your life. Example, I noticed that I have more negative thoughts when I am in my creative space and I'm about to do something, and right before I'm about to do something, it's like in my head, I started kind of talking myself out of doing stuff. And I'm like, I have to check myself sometimes, like, why am I doing this? Where the hell is this coming from? Like, and a lot of the times what it is, if you notice that when you're about to do something great, or when you're about to overcome something or get over a hump, a lot of the times that's when the enemy will come in and try to trick you and lie to you and deceive you. So you really have to, my second point, you really have to know what the word of God says and know what God says about you. A lot of the times that's what helps me with my negative thoughts. If I'm thinking a negative thought, I have to ask myself, Kayla, where's this thought coming from? And then also I ask myself, does this thought line up with what God's word says? A lot of the times we have fearful thoughts. If you're trying to move forward or pursue something, especially if you're an entrepreneur with your career, or anything like that, as soon as you're about to, step forward and, break, through something, it's like, that's when the enemy comes, because he wants to hold you back. So you have to really just continue to just remember what you're thinking about. Is it a lie? If it does not align with the word of God, then it's definitely a lie. So you have to automatically shut that thought out of your head. So, like I said, just think about what you're thinking about and when you're thinking about it, at what time. And you can even write down like your thoughts. I think that does help a lot, writing down how you feel day to day. I feel like that does help, just to kind of let you go back and really just, just look at how you're thinking. Because how you think is, the majority of what you're going to see in your life. If you think negative, then you're not going to see good results. If you have a negative mindset, then you're not going to be able to pursue a lot of things, because you're just in that space where you're not going to be able to manifest good things because you're thinking bad. So your thinking is what you think about your mind is everything. Like, I feel like your mind is a big deal. People talk about your mind a little bit, but they don't really talk about it a lot. But I feel like when you get your mind right, you can do anything. There's nothing that you cannot do. And you have to just get the negative thoughts out. Not saying that you're going to be able to just wipe them out completely, but for the most part, you can think. Example, I've been on a fast, and before I started, in my head, because my weight is something that I've struggled with, for a long time in my life. In my head, I'm thinking, okay, I'm gonna do this fast. But in my head, I'm thinking, I can't do this. I like to eat too much, or I like to eat a certain thing too much. And I'm like, no, I can do this. I can do this. Like, who told me that I cannot do? Like, that's just something that I've thought my whole life. And I'm like, no, like, you have to really just think about it. And I'm like, no, I'm doing this. Like, we're doing this. I don't care what my mind says. We're doing this shit, period. Okay? So, yeah. Just think about what you're thinking. God says you can do all things with him on your side. If you're thinking, I can't, if it's something you want to do and you're thinking, I can't do that. Yes, you can. God says that you can do everything through him that gives you the strength. If it's his will, you don't need to put a limit on God. Don't put a limit on God and what he can do. And, just know his word says you can do anything. So if you're feeling fear, it's okay to feel fear, but walk with faith, on line with what his word says. Then I need to revisit his word more and spend more time with him, just so I can get built up and confident in his word and know that if it does not align with what he's saying, then it's not true. Okay. My next point is speaking positive over your situation. This is a very, very, very big one, okay? The power of life and death is in your mouth. It's in your tongue, okay? So you have to speak positive over your situation, whatever it is you're going through. Even if you can't see yourself even if you can't see the situation turning around, you have to know that where you are right now is not your permanent space. You're not going to always be where you are right now. If you're in a place where you're broke, if you're in a place where you're sad all the time, you have to know that it has a lot to do with your mind, but you also have to speak against those negative thoughts, okay? So a lot of the times, if I have a negative thought, I'll say it out of my mouth. We ain't doing that. Nope. Because sometimes your thoughts are just so loud. I don't know if it's anybody else, but for me, sometimes my thoughts can be just so loud, and I'm like, I have to shut it down. And I say it out loud. Nope. If I'm thinking something negative, I'll be like, no, girl, we're not doing it today. No, devil. I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. Like, I'll go ahead and speak it, honey, because I'm not going to play. And I'm going to use my mouth for the right thing. I'm going to use my mouth to speak against anything negative in my life or any negative thoughts that I'm having. I noticed that a lot of the times we stay in negative spaces because we talk about everything but what we need to be talking about. We say everything but what we need to be saying. You just have to speak positive over your situation. If you broke, don't say, I'm gonna always be broke. Yeah, you're gonna always be broke because you're saying that and you think that. So how can God even work if you already done put yourself in that space to say, it's gonna be like, this is gonna be my forever? You're limiting God because you're supposed to have faith. And if you're limiting him, he can't work for you because you don't even believe it. So you have to speak against those negative thoughts. You have to believe what you're saying. If you have a negative thought, rebuke it. Say, we're not doing it today. If you feel yourself getting mad, we ain't doing it today. Your energy is everything. So you have to speak against those negative thoughts. You have to let yourself hear what you're saying. Like, no, I'm not doing it today. You have to put the whip down, period. Like, on yourself. You have to be on your own neck. You got to put that pressure on you. Like, when you start thinking negative, don't speak negative. Focus on what you do want, not what you don't want. That's very important, to just speak out what you want to see in your life. I speak out what I want to see in my life all the time. And a lot of the times, majority of the time, it comes true. It happens for me. You know, I allow God to work because I'm stretching my words. I'm speaking life over my situation. You know, I believe that it's gonna be better. You know, I just know in my heart. And a lot of the times I'm able to manifest those things because, you know, what you think is what's gonna be your reality. If you think you're gonna always be broke, if you think that you're never gonna find love, you're not going to, because you're speaking that over your life. If when you say, I'm stupid, I'm never gonna do this, I'm never gonna that, you're speaking it over your life, is what you're doing. So just change your word. God has the final say, so you can't just put a cap on God. And a lot of the times I feel like we do it. I've been guilty of doing it myself, putting a limit on God. And God is a big God. He can do anything. No problem is too big for him. So do not put a limit on God. He can do anything, and speak positive so that he can see that you are trying to get past your situation. You know, just speak positive words, positive truths over your situation, over your life. I should have put this one first. But my third point is praying. You have to pray. You have to pray. If you struggle with negative thoughts, you have to pray, period. You have to pray. You have to stay in the presence of God if you struggle with negative thoughts. And then you also have affirmations daily, period. Like, when I get up in the morning, this is my routine. When I get up, you know, I have to get up and get my daughter ready for school, but I pray. I pray in the morning when I get up, even if it's something small. I will help you overcome those the negative thinking. Just like I said, say those daily positive affirmations daily. You know, speak stuff as if it's already happened. In the morning, I set the tone for how my day is going to be. Like, and I'm not saying I get it right every day, because I may not get it right every day, but for the most part, when I get up in the morning, I'm spending time with God in the morning, period. I'm watching my devotionals. I'm reading some type of Bible verse. Like, I'm looking at something that motivates me in the morning. I like to be, you know, I don't want to jump straight up and get on Instagram, you know, and we do that a lot of the times, not realizing that has a lot to do with our negative thinking. When we jump straight up and don't go to God first, we jump straight up and get on Instagram, jump straight up and do everything else but what we need to be doing. Then we wonder why our thinking is off, because you're not doing what you're wired to do. When you get up in the morning, you gotta get in God's presence. You gotta pray. You gotta say those positive affirmations in the morning to kind of get your day started, to set the tone for what you want for your day. I say positive affirmations to myself. I'll say, you are beautiful. You are a beautiful spirit. You are fearless. You are, you know, just say it as if it's already true, even if it ain't. You are wealthy. You attract the money in the right way. You are very abundant. I'm grateful. I'm grateful for my car. I'm grateful for my home. I'm grateful for my job. Even if, like, my job gets on my nerves, but I'm grateful for my job. I'm going to always have gratitude and be humble and have humility, because, you know, is somebody always worse off than you a lot of the times. So you have to have humility. You have to be grateful for where you are and trust your process. Just like I said, think about what you're thinking about. Make sure you're speaking positive over your life. Make sure you're spending time in the presence of God. Make sure you're praying, and make sure you're very intentional about how you start your day, because a lot of the times that is going to help you with those negative thoughts that you may have. Make sure you're very intentional about how you spend your time, intentional about what you watch, what you listen to, what you feed yourself on social media. If you're listening to just crazy music all the time, watching a bunch of killing movies and stuff like that, you know, that's a way for the enemy to kind of get in and, you know, just kind of, you know, devour you a little bit. So you really have to be intentional about how you spend your time, what you spend your time on. Relax. Just know that God is working. He's on your side. Just trust that you're right where you need to be. And most of all, love yourself. Be gentle with yourself. Forgive yourself, forgive other people, and just know that everything's gonna work out the way it's supposed to. Even the bad things. The bad things are, God's gonna always bring everything to work for your good. So even the bad things, just know that it's gonna work out for your good. So just embrace it. Embrace where you are. Don't fight it. Just embrace where you are, but know that you can enjoy your life and just change your mind, change your perspective, speak positive and think positive, and watch how your life changes. Remember who you are, be free, be who you are, and just love your life and know that you're right where you need to be, okay? I love you guys. Thank you so much for joining me today. Do not forget to subscribe to my channel and make sure you guys share this video with your family and friends. I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next video.